And hello and welcome to The Pulse this afternoon. Coming up live from our studios in Kokomlemle on digital address GA09925339. Our top stories this afternoon: protest hits part of the country as voters in Banda dispute election results figures. We are live in Banda in the Bono region, where the NPP members there insist they won the election. Also coming up this afternoon, almost 48 hours since declaration of election results, with some parliamentary seats still outstanding, the NDC has rejected the results, saying they have evidence. We put the spotlight on some reported attacks in the Volta region and violent protests in the northern region as well. And also make a stop at the Ghana Health Service as we check on the country's COVID-19 cases post-elections and pre-Christmas season. The Pulse is brought to you by Global Communities, Dignilo, Affordable Safe Sanitation. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Join us on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 144. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and all our social media handles. Stay with us. This afternoon, there are growing agitations in parts of the country as President Akufo-Addo's victory in the 2020 elections come under dispute. Former President John Mahama, who lost in the presidential race, has voiced his resolve not to accept the results announced by the EC chairperson, Jane Mensah. The NDC is also challenging the parliamentary results. Last night, former President John Mahama took time to outline the NDC's reasons for which it is rejecting the outcome.
When in 2016, at the end of my first full term as president, I ran for re-election as an incumbent candidate, I respected the will of the people. I conceded, I stepped aside, and I set in motion a peaceful transfer of power because I understood that it was the will of the people. And if we are to progress as a nation, if we are to live up to the inheritance of our history, one for which people have paid the ultimate price, the sacred verdict of the people must be respected. It must be protected. It has been my pledge throughout my time of service as a representative to the good people of Ghana to do exactly that. And that is why I stand before you tonight, unwilling to accept the fictionalized results of a flawed election. The results have allegedly been strangely declared for the NPP, even though the EC chair claims to have left Techiman South out of her declaration. After an audit and review of our pink sheets, and I wish to announce that we have all our pink sheets signed. After an audit and review of our pink sheets for Techiman South, we can confirm to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the NDC won the parliamentary seat as follows. NDC secured 50,417 votes, and NPP secured 49,825 votes. In the Eastern region, the results in the presidential elections, which were collated and signed by all the parties, were not the same ones that were transmitted from the regional Electoral Commission offices to Accra. The padded figures have since been exposed. The Ashanti region provides fundamental problems that require further investigation and a full electoral forensic audit. Evidence gathered across board shows that the aggregates on the summary sheets of some constituencies do not reflect the individual results on the polling station pink sheets.
That sparked immediate reaction in some parts of the country as NDC supporters in the northern region hit the streets in protest at the results. This morning, NPP supporters in Banda in the Bono region also hit the streets. Erasta Cesare Donko was there for us.
that the people of Bana have decided to choose their own MP. However, the EC, together with the incumbent MP, have shortchanged us. That's why we are demonstrating against that verdict. We are not ready to accept it unless our own MP, Honorable JoyNews, who have been elected by the people, is given to us. Else, we are here to defend our land. As the Constitution says, we are ready. We are not ever able to let them take our rights for granted. We are fighting for our right. That's our constitutional right. So that's why we are demonstrating this morning. Yes. Oh, myself, I was at the collation center. I was also a supervisor. In other words, I was an agent at the polling center. The number of ballot papers they brought under my area, initially the number they gave to me, when later we were casting our votes, they came to tell me that they were not up to the number. So for that matter, I was not ready to accept it, my friend. So that's why they cheated us in one way or the other, in numerous ways.
Were you an agent?
I was an agent.
Did you sign the form?
I didn't sign. And the EC officer there came to lock me to sign. I said, no way. I was not ready to sign it. I didn't sign. And it happens in so many polling centers. But my people over there, some sign. But me, I was not ready to sign. I didn't sign mine.
Why didn't you sign it?
Because there were irregularities. There were irregularities. And yes.
Explain them to me.
What I simply mean is the number of ballot papers they brought under my area. Initially, they told me they were 697. Later, in course of the election, they told me that they have realized that there were shortages. I said, from where? They said from the office. I said, no way. Because I had already entered my entries. How do I set such a flaw? Initially, after that, when we finished voting, I realized that the number of people that voted and the machine that picked, they were up to my tally. But there were also additional ballot papers in the ballot box. Yeah. They were not validated. They were overvoting. So I called for cancellation of such polling center. They didn't accept it. So why should I accept such flaw? They didn't. Why should I accept such flaw of ballots? I can never. Because I can't let unscrupulous people decide for me. I know my left from my right. I had such a demonstration. Yes. Please, I'm C.A. Williams. Yes, please.
Why are you demonstrating today?
Well, at our recount, because we saw that there were some overvoting somewhere, but in some areas. But the EC boss, the returning officer, didn't allow us to even ask for any recount.
Yes, of course.
So we upon this, they gave us our pin sheet. So when we came home and calculate the pin that they gave us, we realized that we have won with 27 votes. Yes. With EC officials that didn't give us the chance to listen, demonstrate our right. So upon this, we are telling the whole world and Ghana that upon this, if the EC boss and the EC official, even the minister herself didn't come down here or didn't put things at the right way, we will not allow it. We will not accept it. We are telling them that Joe won the election. And return it. And we will not accept this. We are telling the whole world that they should bring and then redeclare JoyNews Acquah as a winner.
We will have a conversation shortly about how the parties in this growing dispute can effectively address their differences without resorting to violence. But in parts of the country, there have been some attacks which are somewhat political in nature. In Jomoro, in the Western region, police say 2 sympathizers of the NPP and NDC sustained injuries during a clash. Western Region Police PRO DSP Olivia Diku explains to JoyNews the clash occurred as members of the 2 parties jubilated. The NPP were excited and likewise the NDC.
I spoke with the district commander. There is no such incident. Apart from the clash that happened yesterday night between the NDC supporters and the NPP supporters, and 2 people from each of the sides, NDC and NPP. They had minor injuries and they were treated yesterday at Chikobu #1 clinic and they were discharged. This morning, as I speak to you, the district commander has even invited the executives of both parties to a meeting at 11 to talk to their supporters to exercise restraint.
So you're confirming that that video is not a reflection of what happened at Jomoro. Only
yes,
2 from each side got injured. But from the police's point of view, what exactly led to the clash?
Yeah, the information I have is that yesterday evening, the supporters of the parliamentary candidate elect were celebrating the victory of their MP elect. Then NDC supporters were also celebrating their victory. And the route they took was near to the MP's house. So the 2 groups clashed around the MP's house area and led to 2 people getting injured. The police was called in. They got there and they were able to calm them down. A motorbike belonging to an NPP supporter was seized by the NPP supporters, and that one has also been able to retrieve. The police and military are still in the area patrolling. As I said earlier, the 2 people have been treated and discharged. And this morning, I'm told Bonire is calm.
Okay. We appreciate your time here. You mentioned just before you leave us that the police and military are still on the ground. What is the police planning to do in order to maintain the peace in the area?
Yeah, I think I indicated to you earlier that the police had invited both the executives of the 2 parties to a meeting this morning to talk to them, to talk to their parties. They all have the right to celebrate their victory, but they have some perimeters that they have to attend to. And they also have to inform the police so that if they want to go for a victory walk or whatever, the police can provide protection for them so that the 2 parties do not clash. It doesn't other work for the community itself.
Let's get down to the Bono region and speak with our man, Erastus Asari Donko. In Banda, similar incidents are happening where both parties are claiming victory. Erastus, okay, so I'm told we've lost Erastus Asari Donko. He'll be coming back to tell us the latest on the ground. But in the Volta region, MP-elect for Keta Jujoli Kwame Gyanwe has been reportedly attacked by unnamed gunmen in his Anglon residence. According to the family, Kwame was beaten up by the men who also made away with his 25,000 cedis, his laptop, phones belonging to him and his brothers. The gun-wielding thugs, according to the family, also attacked his parents. His younger brother, Lambert Gyanwe, has been speaking to JoyNews.
They just want those officers there because this is not the first time. We want all of them to be transferred with immediate effect. That is one demand. As I speak to you, this information got to the divisional commander for Keta. I spoke with him. He came to the hospital. We all went to the police station. As we speak, the police station is temporarily shut down. And the divisional commander was able to speak to the youth. He pleaded with them that he's going to work on their request because he promised that within 1 week, the request from the youth that all those police officers to be transferred will be granted. And the youth were happy. And they also said if after 1 week that demand is not granted, they are going to take another. So I'm still pleading with the divisional commander as he promised calling the regional commander to ensure that all those police officers are transferred from Angla to be done.
The people came and attacked the place, broke the door, and then entered the shop. And in the course of breaking the door, our junior brother, who is also the brother to the MP, heard what was going on and then decided to come out. And then when he came out, he saw the people who were breaking the place. So he entered his room. The people saw him and rushed to his place and broke into his room, and at a gunpoint asked him to give them money. So they robbed him, and then they went to our parents' room, my mom and my dad, attacked them and some little children in the house. Then after that, I heard the thing and I woke up. When I woke up in my room, I peeped through the window and I saw my brother, who is the MP elect, and then the group of these young men were attacking him and asking him to bring everything in the car. Then from there, they marched him to his room and asked him to bring everything in the room. So according to my brother, he had 25,000 in the room. He gave it to them, and he was shouting that they shouldn't shoot him. They should leave him alone. Whatever they want, he'll give them. So he handed over everything, laptop, phone, everything to them. So the time I peeped through the window, I went back to my room and blocked the place, and I rang the 191, that's the police emergency number, and I informed the police that this is what is happening. So from my brother's room, they came to my place. They marched my brother to my room, which is next to his room, and they asked him to open that door. Apparently, I locked the door at the other side, so they were knocking at it. Knowing very well that what armed robbers can do, I decided to open the door so that they may not do anything to us. So they entered the room and they point a gun on us, and then ransacked the room. They didn't see anything, they didn't get anything, and then they decided to ask of my mobile phone. So I handed over my mobile phone to them. Then they left the room and came outside. By then I was left in the room with my brother and my children. So we decided to open the back door for my brother. I started to open the back door for my brother to leave. So he decided to leave and then scale the wall and ran away. So when he ran away, they later on came to the room and asked me, where is my brother? At the gunpoint, they were asking me, where is my brother? Where is he? Where is he? And I told them that my brother has passed the back door.
Ivy Sotoji is a woman in the Volta region. She joins us with more via Zoom. Ivy, what is the condition of Mr. Gyanwe as we speak?
Well, Kwame is currently stable, still at the hospital, receiving treatment. But according to the younger brother, he's stable now, but the doctors are still monitoring him. One person who was also beaten up has been rushed to the St. Anthony Hospital in Georgia for treatment because they couldn't treat him in Ketsa because it's related to bone issues. So they have rushed him to Georgia to be treated. But for now, Kwame Gyanwe, the MP elect, is responding to treatment as we speak. His parents have also been treated and discharged. We were told that about 10 family members were beaten up. Most of them have been discharged, except Kwame, who is still in the hospital, and some other guy who has been transferred to Georgia Hospital.
Ivy Sotoji is our correspondent in the Volta region. We'll be bringing you subsequent updates on this unfolding incident in our subsequent bulletins. Let's now listen to the police commander for the area who has been calling for calm among residents.
I am here because of you. I am here because of you. Hello. Let me just tell you. I go. I am here because of your grievances. And before I came here, I visited the injured MP at the hospital. He told me about whatever happened from the house to the police station. So I showed him that I was going to take. Listen. So I showed the MP that I am going to take action and try to solve all your grievances. The start, I've given the MP 24-hour guide. And I've also told him that anytime he's in town, he should inform me so that I give him protection. I understand your grievances because you are aggrieved that he came here and the police didn't act. That is your grievance. And I am going to take action. Already, I'm talking with the Ranger Commander. We know what you are going to do. So I will beg you that you should all disperse to your house. We should all disperse to your house, and let's see, within 1 week, latest, your request will be granted.
Welcome back to The Pulse with me, Aisha Ibrahim. And of course, we're live on DSTV, channel 421, GoTV, channel 144. We're on DTT because we're free to air, and also on all our social media platforms. Let's go back to our earlier story from Banda, where NPP members have been protesting over what they describe as rigged elections. My colleague, Erastus Asaridonko, joins us with more from the area. Erastus, good to see you. But what is the situation there right now?
Well, so currently the crowd has dispersed, and the chairman of the constituency spoke to us just before we left the main town. And what he's saying is that they are not going to relent on their efforts. This is the first step. That's the demonstration. They are going to ensure that they follow up with series of action to ensure that the Electoral Commission goes back to the figures and reviewed them, and then restore the dignity of the results. And so what they are talking about is with regards to this that I'm holding here. And I have tried to cross-check this information, this piece of information. This is the parliamentary election results collation form. And if you look at the polling stations one by one, if we try to calculate all of them, then it puts the NPP in a lead with a figure of about 27 votes. But then if you look at what the EC has done, their calculation of the entire polling station results, they got this, 8,195 for Joe Dankwa, who is the NPP candidate, and 8,276 for Ahmed Ibrahim, who represents the NDC. But if you look at what the New Patriotic Party, their press release, they are stating that if they calculate, they will get 8,246 for the NPP candidate, as against 8,219 for the NDC candidate. And that is what they are basing their argument on at the moment. So it's yet to be seen whether indeed this is the true authentic copy of the parliamentary election results summary sheet of the EC, or this is just something from the NPP. And we've tried to contact the Electoral Commission. I called one Mr. Menz, who is the district returning officer, and he told me that he's out of town. And so when he comes back, he will get in touch with me. I tried to seek his reaction, immediate reaction, as to what he makes of the allegations being made by the NPP, but he says he cannot talk to me. When he comes around, he'll call me. And so that is what we have for now.
Erastus Asari Donko is our man in the Bono region, following on this pockets of violence where both NDC and NPP are claiming victory. The seat was declared for the NDC. The NPP is claiming that they are rejecting that declaration. We'll be getting more from the Electoral Commission, because the Electoral Commission has explained that the reason for the increment of the votes of both the NDC and NPP in the Eastern region was as a result of the addition of a Suejaman constituency. It comes after NDC presidential candidate John Mahama yesterday alleged that in the Eastern region, the presidential election results, which were collated and signed by all parties, were not the same ones that were transmitted from the region to the EC's offices in Accra. But speaking on News Desk earlier today, Director of Electoral Services at the Commission, Dr. Emanuel Acquah, explained that it was because of the additional votes from the Sojaman constituency. He has also been responding to issues surrounding the Sine West collation. The Commission says it is waiting for a court decision to determine the outcome of the constituency results after an injunction was placed on the declaration of the polls.
It has been declared by the district, and I have not heard of any complaints about it.
Okay, but what exactly is the issue in Sine West now?
The Sine West, from the officers, what they were saying is that at one of the polling stations, when they finish the voting, they will seal the ballot box, fill the necessary forms before they will open and do the counting. So when it was filled, before they will finish their work and open, somebody has taken the box away. The person was chased, and when they got to him, the NPP seal had been broken. So the NPP is saying that once it was broken, we should not count it. But we are saying that the Electoral Commission seal was not broken. So it could be counted. So that's what they are discussing, and there's a court injunction on it. Somebody has placed a court injunction on it. So we have to go to the court for the injunction to be lifted, then we can do the count.
And do we know when to expect that?
That one will depend on the court.
Okay. Now, one of the pointers being used by the opposition to discredit the elections is the EC's admission of the mistake in the total vote figures for presidential elections during the chairperson's declaration. How did that happen?
To the best of my knowledge, the vote for each of the candidates remains the same.
Exactly.
They were lifting the total valid votes. And misquoted the total vote cast. So the vote for each of the candidates remains the same. The total valid vote plus the rejected ballot will give you the total vote cast. So the total vote cast that was quoted instead of the total valid vote, but it did not affect the vote for any of the candidates.
But you understand that this blunder has raised suspicion, especially within the opposition party, that there may have been some massaging of figures.
We are dealing with actuals, not speculation.
I'm not speculating, sir.
But you said use the word may. May is speculative.
Okay, but I'm saying to you that this is one of the issues they are raising for discrediting the election.
To the best of my knowledge, the parties at the regional levels, at the national level, we are supposed to collect the national results using the regional results. I know, because the results were fact, and I have to take custody of them. So no matter when they come, I photocopy them, give copies to the party reps available. And I know that with the session of Equador GFP, the reps of the 11 candidates were there, and all of them were given all the regional results. And with the exception of Greater Accra and Eastern Region, which was not countersigned by NDC, all the other results were signed. And the law is clear that when we get the result from the region, we should collate them. The law even does not ask them to countersign, but to add to transparency, that's why we ask them to sign. And I also know that with the exception of Eastern region and voter region, the NDC did not sign the voter regional result. And the NPP did not sign the NDC did not sign the Eastern regional result. And NPP did not sign the voter regional result. Once there were no complaints on the summary of the results, we used them, collated them, and declared the results. Apart from Electoral Commission declaring the results, Kodeo and a lot of the media houses have also projected the results, which are similar to our results.
Dr. Kweku,
I think the writing is in line with the law.
All right, Dr. Kweku, in hindsight, would you say that your 24-hour timeline for declaring of results put you under pressure, leading to some of this, the mistakes we are seeing?
Hello?
Hello, Dr. Kweku, can you hear me?
Now, the Executive Director of the Institute of Democratic Governance, Dr. Emanuel Acquah, has urged feuding parties to be minded by the peace pact signed prior to the December 7 election and resort to amicable channels of resolving all disputes. He said the legal process is the way to go in settling all election-related grievances. He spoke with Mama V. Owusu-Aboagye this morning.
Probably the pink sheet issue would not have a reason, but the Supreme Court decision, whoever filed the writ and then decided that pink sheets for transparency have to be shared and so on. NDC says they have all the pink sheets to make their case. That sounds like they have the solid basis to go to court for the determination to be made on both. So for me, that is the first principle, but the first part. Where the Supreme Court would decide, but it's litigation, and litigation does not only always soothe, because there's a winner and a loser, and sometimes it can polarize. The Kenyan example that I proved is one that seeks reconciliation, especially when your numbers are not strong. I don't think whoever wins has strong numbers to govern the country and do what they like. It looks like the electorate has spoken. They want some kind of different way of winner takes all, majority overrides minority kind of government, which we've had. The margins are so little in Parliament, frankly, and there are major things that you can't do if you don't have the opposition support. And the president doesn't really have some huge thing, although that is a different matter. Once you win, you have everything. So I think that the court process for me is first, or the NDC decides that, look, we would not go to court, but they would engage. The president himself has to engage in a way that resolves, and really justice must be sought. I believe they should go to court, but it should not exclude other ways of also engaging to see what really did the voters say and what changes how would they serve them. Mama B, the last thing I'll say is this. In our history in the Fourth Republic, it looks like the trend is not changing. The voters would always give a party after the first term a second term. So we've not seen one-term presidency. NPP tried to give NDC under the late President Mills and subsequently President Mahama a one-term. They were so determined, but they were not successful. And that is where we are. 2012 is what we are witnessing in 2016. But if you look at it in the context of in the general context, the trend since 1992, it may be the voters changing their mind, but this time, whatever has happened.
President Akufo-Addo says sustenance of the country's peace is a shared responsibility and has entreated Ghanaians to play their part to keep the country together even after a fiercely contested elections. The president's comment comes after pockets of violence, clashes and vandalism by some elements who feel aggrieved following declaration of the election results by the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. Addressing the Muslim community at a Thanksgiving service at the Central Mosque in Accra Friday, President Akufo-Addo expressed hope that the Ghanaian people will find a way to come together as one people.
Before the election, we came to the National Chief Imam to ask him to intercede in Almighty God for three things for us. First, is that before, during, and after the elections of 7th December, that he should grant our country peace and unity. Him to shower his particular blessing on the Chief Imam's own son, Haji Mahama. And thirdly, that he should ask the Almighty God for victory for me and the NPP. Elections concluded. Almighty God, through the intercession of the Chief Imam, the Almighty has heard our prayer. So we have come today to say our thanks to the Chief Imam and to the Almighty. These things that we asked for and prayed for, the peace and unity of our nation, his blessings on his son, Vice President and now Vice President-elect, and victory in the presidential contest for me and the New Patriotic Party. He has seen fit to grant each one of these prayers. So we are here today to render our humble thanks to the Almighty for listening to our prayers.
We're still live on The Pulse. If you just joined us, you can join on DSTV channel 421, GoTV 144. We're free to air because we're on DTT. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, all our social media handles. We'll take a break. We'll bring you more on post-election issues. Welcome back to The Pulse. And whilst elections and other political activities took place in the last few weeks, there were widespread disregard for the COVID-19 protocols. Experts are worried this could trigger a sharp rise in COVID-19 cases after the 2-week incubation period of the virus. Already, the country's COVID cases have continued to surge, rising 160 new cases in the last update to bring the country's case count to 894. So what does the future look like for the country's management of the pandemic? Yesterday, Director General of the Ghana Health Service said his outfit is stepping up surveillance in the wake of the elections and other mass protests. What that have followed. Now, joining now is Dr. Da Costa Abuaje, is Director of Health Promotion at the Ghana Health Service and leader of Risk Communication Subcommittee of Ghana's COVID-19 management team. Doc, I'm grateful for your time. What does these new figures mean for our fight against COVID-19?
Thank you. I think generally we have been seeing not like quite some increase in the cases, and majority of them are coming from the workplaces. Luckily for us, the political activities have actually not contributed much to the increasing numbers of cases that we have. Now that it is over, bear in mind there are some activities that are coming up, like Christmas and post-election celebrations. So as you heard the Director General yesterday, we have some plans to make sure that we step up the risk communication and education using different models to make sure that Ghanaians actually comply. Then we also want to take this opportunity to say that we monitored the safety protocols put in place by the Electoral Commissioner or the Electoral Commission. We are glad that it went well. In fact, I monitored from Kumasi. I went to Kumawu, then to Dobonso. I came to Eastern Region, then to Greater Accra. All the places that I visited, the agreement we had with them, the ambassadors were at post, making sure that the safety protocols are complied or adhered to. So I am glad that it went well. Now, in terms of the post-election celebration, we are pleading with Ghanaians that as they celebrate, they should bear in mind that the virus is still in the country, and we should all try our best to wear our masks until we get a vaccine. The face mask is our vaccine. We should continue to wash our hands. Over the few weeks, we've noticed that compliance has actually gone down in terms of the washing hands and the others. So we are advocating that Ghanaians should comply with the safety protocols. Now, to the media, you know, the attention that was given to the elections, we are pleading with you to give that same attention to the education of the COVID-19 safety protocols to the public. I think that will help a lot, because we are all, I mean, the fatigue has actually set in, but we are pleading that the health system has gone through a lot. You've done your part. We thank you, but we have to continue this fight until we get a COVID-19 vaccine.
You know, for some time now, we're not getting updates on the Ghana Health Service portal and what have you. What is your own role, the Ghana Health Service's role in championing this cause?
Oh, okay. So for us, we do collate the data from the various regions and upload it onto our website. So that has been ongoing. We have, and we've been doing the contact tracing. In fact, just before the, I think December, we had some resources like vehicles to continue our contact tracing and others. So contact tracing is ongoing. But the problem is, you see, we should understand this. You do contact tracing based on your positive cases. So you trace those contacts. So if the cases are low, certainly your contacts are going to be low. So that is for, and you see, we were also doing a little bit of targeting, trying to see, like, we knew that the infections were coming from the workplace. So then you devise strategies for the workplace. So you continue to review as you go along. But largely, I think it is under control. The only thing left now is we have to be cautious that we comply with the safety protocols, and I think we'll be fine. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Da Costa Abuaje is Director of Health Promotions at the Ghana Health Service. I'm grateful for your time this afternoon, and we're still on the pulse. I'll take a break.